Hey everybody, I am Tommy and you are on the lifeboat. Let me get this other one over here squared away so that I can get both screens. There we go. I think I'm set up on both. I got a 5x5. Feel it? Oh, can I get a 5x5? Do 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 do. So, welcome to the boat. I'm Tommy. There we go. Now we can get this thing on the way. Sorry, but I've been having so many problems lately with the old microphone that it's been a bit of an issue. Krista Melinda, good to see you. Sweet Liberty, what's happening? Kestrel, Nancy, Taylor, McDaniel, Noah writes back. Kestrel 42, good to see you. Beverly, what's happening? Catherine J. So let me tell you why we're firing this up tonight. And I'm going to still say hi to people as we comment, but there's that Johnny Scoville fella. Marcy, good to see you. Catherine, Beverly, and the Johnny Scoville. He's kind of a big deal. He really is. Krista Melinda, super mod. SMG Infinity. So, you know what happens very often, folks? Because of the part of the world that we live in, this hemisphere gets way more attention than that, this part of the world than that part of the world. And we have a lot of friends over in Great Britain now, a lot of people in Great Britain because of the association that we have struck up with the Atwood program and everything that we've been doing over there. And we'll see if anybody in Great Britain gets up this early in the morning. But I thought, well, we'll fire it up and see if we can reach out to some people that normally don't get an opportunity to see us. Michelle, how are you? And welcome. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. So it is midnight here in Monique, good to see you. It is midnight here where I am broadcasting from. I normally wouldn't go live at midnight, but I do want to pull a couple of these a month so that we can hit people in different places. Sydney, Australia, good to see you. Yeah, I like it when people weigh in and tell us where they are too. It's always fun when people tell you where they're, hey, Charlie Muffins, I was talking about you the other day. Good to see you, Charlie. Glad that you are here, my brother. Hey, Nashville, Tennessee, Taylor Miller. I love Tennessee, by the way. I really do. I love it. I think I like it more than my fiance does. Debbie Zito, good to see you. Hope I got a little nap. There's no nap. There's no rest for the wicked. I wish I did. Bobby Jean, good to see you. Max's mom. I'd say I'm going to get a lot of sleep when this entire Diddy case is over. And I'm not being funny. I really am. Lovejoy, good to see you. And I'll tell you something, people. Bit of a spoiler alert, but we're going to have some representation at that Diddy trial. Rochester, New York, looking good in green. Nice, Bernsey. I spent a lot of time in Rochester. What the company that I used to do my when I was on the road as a public speaker, the company I worked for was based out of Rochester, New York. And my bosses lived on Lake Ontario, right up the street, town of Honeyway, I believe. Marcy, good to see you. Monique, is that Dominica? Middle of the night. In my defense, well, it's not really, but it's late. 7:30 here in the UK. Good. A little coffee with Tommy in the morning. And money don't grow on trees. It's 2 a.m. in Indiana. Trust the document says. It's a little late night for some people in the U.S. as well, and I dig that. I really do. I dig that. This is going to be a fun show because it has occurred to me. I got into a conversation with a friend, and my friend is a content creator. This is not Quibsy, by the way. My friend is a content creator, but does not handle the kind of content that I do here. Like the Diddy stuff is so far out under the outer rings of satin for this cat. That when I talk to him, he's always just blown away at he's shocked that people are following it. He's shocked that anybody cares. One of those people that just thinks that we're all nuts. But as someone who isn't following the Diddyverse at all, he says to me, So there are 40 women that are going to be marching through this courtroom. And I said, I'm sorry, what? He goes, aren't there 40 different accusers? And I said, yeah, there are 40 different accusers in the civil action that is taking place outside of the, this is not prosecution that's going to put somebody in prison. All of those people. So I think that there's some confusion with exactly what's going to be going on in this courtroom. Are they going to pull the same stunt on Diddy they did on R. Kelly? I can't find R. Kelly's case anywhere. I can find you the R. Kelly case. If you're looking on Pacer, it's probably not going to work. Pacer works for all of the state stuff. On the federal stuff, you got to pull it up. I think it's a different. Where did I find it? LexisNexis, whatever that was. I was able to find it there. Well, I think that what we have going for us, Dub, is that in this case, everybody's watching. I mean, let's be really honest. The R. Kelly case, DJ Daddy-O, what's up, brother? The R. Kelly case, there were people that followed it. There were people that knew everything that was going on. There were people that were into it. It was nothing like Diddy. This case has captured the imagination of people around the world, right? I mean, around the world. And everyone knows the world is looking. Everyone knows the world's looking. It's causing a cascade. We're watching a lot of stuff happen in this country in particular, but around the world. Yeah, it's hard to find that. If it's not Lexis, then it's going to be on the other one. And before this ends, I promise you the other one will come. Westlaw. See, I knew it. What I got to do is, for me, when I can't figure something in my head, and my last therapist, Chris, was working with me on this before. Anyway, I got to stop thinking about it and just blow it off like I don't care. Because once I start to obsess, I'm done. But if I go, yeah, I don't care, I'll get to it later, it'll pop in there. That's usually how it works anyway. But Westlaw is the other software. If you can't find it on LexisNexis or Lexis or whatever it's called, Westlaw will have it. It'll be one of the. Playing quick catch up says Mozzarella Drucken. I never got that right. No one's ever gotten that right. My brother probably did. And if not my brother, my fiance, she's pretty slick. Did I see the recent interview on News Nation of the latest lawsuit girl gang? Yes, I did. She's represented by Ariel Mitchell and isn't hiding her name. I did. And you know something? I know that there's a lot of people that aren't fond of Ariel Mitchell. I know that Jaguar Wright's not fond of Ariel Mitchell. Sometimes lawyers, hey, Tommy, sometimes lawyers get a bad rap. I don't know enough about this woman to badmouth her. And I know that there's speculation and people are saying this and people are saying that. Honestly, I say where there's smoke, there's fire or whatever. They have a lot of personal history. Ariel and some of these people are personally as far as I'm concerned, I'd like to see how she does representing these clients. I have no history. I don't have anything to go on, and I can't really seem to find anything. I mean, I heard some people throwing around some, saying some stuff that, I don't know. It's like it's the kind of mud that people sling before an election, but it's certainly nothing that would piss me off enough to even talk about. You know what I mean? Like, I heard she filed bankruptcy, and I'm not sure that's even what they were saying. But these kind of stupid things where you go, who cares? Like, what is, the kind of stuff that doesn't mean anything to me. And I know that some people don't care for the woman. I have seen the woman on News Nation. It's a horrific story. This is the one that was in the documentary. If anyone has seen that, this is the girl from the documentary that was violated by a whole group of guys, and also the remote control. I'm not saying that to be salacious, but that's it's how you're going to know, right? If there was one Jane Doe, we wouldn't have to do stuff like this, but there are 30. But this is the Jane Doe with the incident with the remote control. Envy your warm weather. No, you got no idea how lovely it is here in the warm weather. Although, you know what, we are in the desert. It's never warm at night. It's not even warm at night in the summer, really. Although it's a lot warmer at night than it is right now. It does get very, very cold. Yeah, Christina, he says, Google R. Kelly v. United States. And that may do it because it is, yeah, it's going to be the United States case. That interview is horrific, and this is a recurring theme, right? Every one of these cases that are coming up sound almost exactly the same, right? All of the same elements. You're going to hear they were offered a drink to calm them down. That drink made them feel dizzy, made them feel nauseous, made them feel whatever, and they try to get away. All of these people talk about trying to find a place where they could go hide. You know, they went to a bedroom, they tried to walk away, and in every one of these instances, they can't. It's the substance, and I know that people sometimes feel we're used to drinking a few beers, or we're used to the GHB comes on not like a pill. It comes on very, very quickly. It really does. It's not 30 seconds or anything of that nature, but it comes on a hell of a lot faster than most substances. And we have heard in two different accounts, right, of someone that where he came in, got right in the person's face, allegedly, and looked at him and said, this one's ready to party. In other words, yeah, the substance is kicked in enough. Right now, we can do whatever we want to do. It's really foul. Wharton Thistle. I'm out of sorts since my head bump. Forgetting dates and places. I am sorry to hear that, my brother. Can we get some ones for Wharton Thistle, please? Hey, Wharton. One thing I can tell you is, if this is the hope is that this sort of levels back out. I had a lot of head injuries, which is why I'm in the pickle that I'm in now. Over the years, I had over a dozen concussions from skiing. And I remember being out of sorts after a couple of them. But like Johnny Scoville, after his car wreck, he was a wreck for a long period of time. He was not the same. And he was a young man, but he was not the same. He couldn't remember things. He sense of direction, balance, a lot of things were really screwed up on him for a while. But the hope and the prayer is, my man, that it bounces back. Beautiful thing about the human body. It's one of the most fragile things in the world, and at the exact same time, it is more resilient than just about anything. I mean, we cut ourselves and it magically heals, right? Closes up, does what it's supposed to, new skin covers it. 6 weeks later, you can't see it. To some degree, just about everything. You know, we have a chance of of coming back from a lot, and I'm going to have faith that that you are going to make a full recovery, and we need that because you have a dazzling sense of humor, and we need you around being funny, my brother. Really hope that hope you're not having headaches or anything of that nature, but you'll be in my thoughts and prayers. So let me break this down now, folks, because there's not going to be, as I said, my friend's like, how many witnesses? This is going to take 6 months. And I'm like, how do you think this is going to take 6 months? And he said, well, with 40, men and women or kids or whatever that are accusing this guy. Lovejoy, good to see you. That's not how this is going to go down at all. That would never happen. The prosecution would be terrified to put on a witness list that long, right? You're going to be afraid. Gary, thank you so much. Look at that. He's tossing those babies out there like hot sauce packets. Appreciate you. I really do. And if you just turn green, you can think. Miss Mackey. Down the rabbit hole news. Wow. How about that? That's always exciting. What's up, Rabbit? Love it when Rabbit's in the house. A prosecution is never going to go that route. Right. The big fear is they're going to pick apart your witnesses. And we've already seen how these ladies are going to be treated, right? Saw how Agnifilo and how all of the parties involved are going to victim shame throughout this entire process. What they're going to do is they're going to have one or two people, and that's going to be it. In terms of victims, there are going to be a whole long list of people who are going to come in to corroborate what the federal government is saying. And we're going to find out who all of those people are, allegedly, on the first day of February. Right? February 1st, we should have the Enterprise letter. It's going to give us a far better idea of how this is getting put together and how this is getting dealt out. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting to the point where it's starting to feel like a lot of the stuff that's coming out is coming out for no other reason than to get our tails spinning, right? To get our heads spinning, to get us questioning this. It's funny how when Diddy's camp writes and files anything with the court, there's a lot of references made to the kind of stuff that is being talked about in social media. People talk about picking an impartial jury and how hard that's going to be. As much as this is a shock to a lot of people, there are grips of people on planet Earth that have never heard of Diddy. I promise you there are. I mean, I talked to relatives of mine who are a little bit older than I am. I told people, and I know nobody believed me, but I couldn't come up with a Diddy song. I did not start going down this rabbit hole because it had anything to do with music. It was not my get down. I didn't listen to any of that growing up. Not that it may be excellent, but I don't know. Some people continue to listen to new music throughout their lives. I guess I probably had something to do with prison too, but I got trapped. I never listened to anything that was made after about, picture the, after Sublime. In fact, I always considered Sublime like new music, like modern music. Really didn't start following this for that reason. I started following this because it looked like the Jeffrey Epstein case, except instead of huge politicians and people that were titans of industry and all of this stuff that looked like the people they're taking photos of could change policy, could give you inside information on things that could make you incredibly wealthy. If you know somebody, if you know people inside government, somebody in the Ways and Means Committee, the kind of stuff that you can hear, inside information from people, knowing decisions the government are going to make that are going to massively affect contracts with companies. Sublime was a good stopping point. To be sure. Trust But Document says, thank you again. I really appreciate that. Trust But Document says, hard to imagine it will go to trial. Oh, it will. And here's why it will, at least in my humble opinion. Hey, Winchester Super X, good to see you. I'm doing well. Hope you're doing well. There's no chance in hell this doesn't go to trial. Here's the deal. Diddy's ego, his hubris, we saw how this guy lives. They kicked his door in. He knew exactly what was going on, right? From the time Cassie Ventura filed the lawsuit last November, he never took his foot off the gas pedal, right? It's been alleged that from that point until July of last year, right before he got arrested in September, right? A couple of months before he got arrested, he was still doing freak offs. He was still flying around the country, setting these things up, filming people. He was still doing drugs. He was doing everything he was doing before. It just shows how arrogant this dude is. He knew when that Cassie Ventura lawsuit dropped. I mean, his lawyers aren't clowns, and this guy doesn't. I mean, he was surrounded by legal minds. When those people looked at that lawsuit and they said, settle this right now, instantly, he paid it the next day. They said to him right then, I promise you. And by the way, you're going to get charged with this crap. These were not really old allegations. These were things that were well within the statutes of limitations. Guess what, Haas? You're going to be going to court on this stuff. Guaranteed his lawyers said that. Did he clear everything out of his house? People go, well, obviously. No, man. They took 100 terabytes of info out of his properties. Doesn't sound like he cleared a whole hell of a lot out of there. But if everything in those raids, if all they yielded was the baby oil and the pews, the rest of it, who cares? Honestly, they don't really need the rest of it because this entire case is built on witness 1 and witness 2. Victim 1, victim 2. And we all, I think, can agree, can we not? Right? Can I get a 2 if you agree that Cassie Ventura is definitely victim 1? Here's a question. We know about Diddy and R. Kelly. How many female celebs have done similar things and aren't being brought to light? Honestly, I don't think the number is going to be as high as you would think, but I think there's going to be a few names in there. And I'm basing this on some actual fact stuff. I would love to, I had issues with women who do these things when I was growing up, but it is not the norm. The norm is it's a very much a male dominated crime because it isn't a sexual crime more often than not. It's a crime of dominance. It's a crime of control. And that's normally something that is far more prevalent in men than women. It's not unheard of in women by any stretch. There are definitely women offenders, but they are less likely. That said, we know that we got one in this case already, right? Allegedly, yeah. Allegedly, that 13-year-old girl that was with both Sean's, allegedly, Celebrity B is a woman, right? And you could say, well, she didn't participate. She also didn't do anything to stop it or report it. And according, sat there and watched, probably also rubbing out a giggity. Something seriously wrong with that. Adams Wood Chipper. You gotta love that name. Adams Wood Chipper. Love that. Well, you know something, Noah, I won't hate you, brother. You can if you think it's a 50-50 split, you have every right to believe that. And you know what they say about statistics, right? 69% are made up on the spot. Did Diddy happen to live in LA by any chance where all the evidence happenstance burned to a crisp? Yes, he does. He has a home there, to be sure. Oh, you have not heard of Sublime? Well, you will thank me later. Yeah, Sublime is just awesome. It really is. Jellycats. What a great looking cat. You know what? Cats are better than anything. I mean, honestly, better than anything. Sorry. I really am a cat lover. Cats are fantastic. Aren't they amazing, Johnny Scoville? Don't you love that statistic gag? I've been working that one for years. Yeah, Sublime is also near and dear to my heart. There's a drug overdose tie-in. They're Bradley. They're the lead singer and sort of kind of spirit of the band. Died of a drug overdose after being clean for an extended period of time. It's a tough story to listen to. Jellycats, thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate it. A lot of the homes of the people that we don't like much weren't touched. Somebody was telling me the other day that Tom Hanks owns half of Malibu, and I was not aware of this. Oh man, there's a lot. Okay, so here's the thing with the Diddy case. Here's the thing with the Diddy case. When I talked to like the very first time I talked to our Surviving the Survivor family, and I went over there, Joel says, "Good God, where the hell do you how do you learn? Why would you know all of this stuff? It doesn't make any sense to me. Why?" But I started following this because it didn't make sense to me. And I'll be honest, even the case that they're rolling out right now doesn't make sense to me. Not in this grand scheme of things. But will this be difficult to follow? You're not going to need to buy a program. You're not going to need a death sheet. You won't have to have stuff drawn on the walls, I promise you. Because what this is going to come down to is going to be painfully simple. Cassie Ventura. The defense is going to say Cassie and Diddy were boyfriend and girlfriend. They had a very kinky sex life. And we're all scumbag Puritans, right, who want to force our religious anti-sex doctrine onto them. And that's all fine and dandy. But the problem with that is this. You go to any city in America, and there will be swinger clubs in that city that are open 365 days a year, where people go in and do everything that they claim these people were doing consensually. They do it nightly. No harm, no foul. There's nothing illegal about that. But once one of the parties involved is doing what they're doing because they don't have the ability to say no, then there's a problem. And people can say, well, she looked like she was having fun in that video. If she didn't look like she was having fun in that video, he was going to beat the crap out of her. He was also going to take away her income. He was also going to make sure that she could never work in the industry again. He's got her signed to a 10 record contract. If this toy of his gets out of line, he's going to make sure her career ends. And all of these things alone are coercion. All of these things alone have elements of threat and trick, right? And all enticement. All of her cash came from this. And damn right she was groomed. You're absolutely right, V-neck. This is grooming. And the whole process, just, if you watched the other day, on the documentary, it was the same thing when he went in and Albie Shore is in the studio with his wife Kim Porter and his brand new baby Quincy. And Diddy walks in and says, "Boy, I would like to have a beautiful woman like that." When he says that, he's got a woman on his arm. Lassie. No? I'm serious. You have got to find that classy. You listen daily now and Reese? Well, that's awesome. And you know what? You could do a lot worse. Reese is fantastic. She really is. Yeah, you know what, Mark? See, I'm telling you. I got the audience. See this? And I promise you, people, there will be at least one person on the jury that is at least half as smart as Mock. And if that's the case, we're going to be set. Mock's a genius. So I expect this from her. But one of 12 has got to be smart enough to say the exact same thing. You usually don't run off and have to be kicked and dragged, punched, pulled by the hair, have a vase thrown at you. And what was the crime? Well, the crime was you didn't want to participate in a freak off. And you know what's crazy? They said he wasn't running from the freak off, so there was just a sex worker up there for giggles. I got another thing for you. You hire a sex worker to get on a plane and fly out and have sex with you, right? That's prostitution. That's one of the 3 charges he's being charged with. Now, of all of the stuff that he's being charged with, that's kind of worthless. That's not really, of all of them, it's not going to carry enough time. What we want is that human tea thing. We want him convicted of that human tea thing, and that's going to put him behind bars for life. People go, that carries only 15 years. It carries 15 years as a base. Let me explain this one more time. The vertical access, when you're getting sentenced in the feds, you have a vertical, you have a horizontal. The horizontal from one side to the other is your criminal history. Over here, you're a career criminal. Over here, you're a rookie. And then from 1 to 42 is your criminal offense level. And the offense levels that we're talking about right here are at the top of that puppy. Right? Human tea is ugly. It is ugly. And then there are elements of the case that give you more points. In other words, if the way that the human tea is taking place is just simply because you're giving somebody money, that's one element of it. And that's that they assign a certain number of bonus points to your sentencing. But if there's a threat of violence or there is actual violence, it's going to turn those sentences into the rest of his life. I could have been a therapist. If maybe if I had gotten with therapists myself. Cassandra says, wow, that app just got canceled in Australia. It is also canceled in the United States of America. I don't know if anybody has looked. Well, Janice, that's one of the nicest things that anyone has ever said about me. And I really appreciate that. I mean that. Thank you so much. You know what, people? There are going to be a lot of people from that platform coming over looking for Diddy information. We're gonna have to be kind, right? To all of these people coming over there from the bastard network. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, only one person's gonna laugh at that. But it was worth it. I'm sorry. I make myself laugh. It's a reference, people. I'm not really picking on anyone. Aha. The defense will say, um, why did Cassie stay for 10 years? The cross is going to be brutal for her. You know what? You're right. You're right. And I'm glad that we're going to be walking through this. Why did Cassie stay for 10 years? This is one example of a ton of things we're going to hear. Because they're going to victim shame. They're going to make it look like this is, a revenge thing or whatever. But the beautiful thing is that video of her walking into the hallway of that hotel, escaping a freak off, right? Allegedly escaping a freak off, and then getting the pistoli beat out of her and dragged by the hair back in there for a little bit more love, right? No one's going to buy that. That video killed him, right, in court. I promise. That video is a death sentence to him in court. As far as winning the case, no chance whatsoever. There's no chance whatsoever. No jury is going to watch that and then listen to her testimony. The Cro-Magnon approach of the prosecution to say, well, she looks like she's having a good time, right? You caught me over on Atwood and you've been here since. I love that. I really do. I love that. Jennifer Matthews, good to see you. What's up, Welsh Gold? And they're going to break this down. They're going to say, this is a young, vulnerable girl, right? She's young as hell. And she walks into the Bad Boy Studios. She's going to get a shot. She meets Diddy. And allegedly, there's a room full of people, right? Everybody's there. This is like 2005. And everybody and their brother is in the room. And he sees Cassie, and it's like tractor beams onto this girl. And instantly, the whole vibe of the room changes, and he starts putting the kind of charm you can put on a girl if you have $800 million in your bank account. You could be awfully romantic. You can buy a girl a really beautiful, like 6-carat, necklace from Cartier, and then just for the hell of it, you can put it in the glove box of her Bentley. Boy, if you can't pick up a chick with that kind of cash, you probably don't have a hell of a lot of game. But he love bombs the hell out of her, sends rooms full of flowers, all of this stuff, right? But he's grooming her. He's telling her she's talented as hell. She's going to be huge in this industry. And he's saying stuff like, bet money. This is my speculation, but come on, people. You all know the game. He's saying to her, I made J-Lo. Okay? Guaranteed. Guaranteed. You don't think he said that? J-Lo was on top of the world. You don't think he said, oh, I had a lot to do with that stuff, right? J-Lo's my girl. And I'm going to do for you what happened to her, blah, blah, blah. And he grooms the girl through this process. And it isn't long before they've gone on a few dates. And what happens if you're this girl? You got a 10 record, I guess you would call it. It's album, whatever. You got a 10 album deal. And now you're sleeping with the guy that runs the company. What's going on in your head? If I walk away from this guy, what happens to my music career? It's done. It's over, right? I stopped sleeping with him and my music career is over. And then, like everybody who is a control freak, dominating, a misogynist, right? People that victimize people, that he starts breaking her down, right? This is how they all do it. He starts breaking her down. It's a little at a time. It's a little at a time. And then it gets to a point where she thinks there's nothing that this guy can't get away with. Everybody in the industry had a Diddy story. Everybody had in the industry had a Diddy story. And these big guys, these titans in music, we're all sitting around having a a cocktail party at a restaurant in LA when he punched her as hard as he could in the stomach, right? That's been alleged. Usher was there. Jimmy Iovine was there. There was a ton of people there. And just a shot to the stomach, right? Just doubled her up. That is about one of the most brutal things. The first time I read that, I'm like, there's no way that could be true. He punched a woman as hard as he could in the stomach. People, that hurts. I promise you, that is one of the worst feelings on earth. I would much rather have you punch me in the head. I would much rather take one of those to the head. Yeah, he is definitely a master manipulator. And if you're someone who manipulates people and you're good at it, give that person a budget. And I'll tell you, I think this is what we see. I think the handlers that found Ghislaine Maxwell and then she found Epstein and they took that whole thing and put it together. And I think it's the same kind of thing over here, but it was the diddler. And he brings in Christina Karam, who's supposed to maybe corral him and keep him in, but she can't because he has zero impulse control. Jaguar Wright's been saying this for years. She's been talking about this. The thing that makes him so dangerous is he's got zero impulse control. This is a guy that he can't not pull the trigger. He sees a young lady or he sees a young boy or whatever, and he gets that's what I want, I'm going to do it. This is what's been alleged. If what we're hearing in all of these lawsuits is true, then that's got to be that this is a man with zero impulse control. Now, of course, what's he saying? This is all BS. I deny all of this. Diddle around the roof. Sloan Bell is right. I mean, at least there for sure. Sloan Bell is right. If you keep your mouth shut, there's a lot of people allegedly, right? That's been said about a lot of artists that lost family. Sub Rosa, that's the Eye of Ra. Is that what that is? What do you call that? I always confuse that one. And no, that's not Ra. That's somebody help me. You know why I ask? Eye of Horus. Thank you. And I'll tell you why I thought it was Ra and why I ask. Because the first time I did acid, there was a white sheet with that stamped on it in black. But the guy that sold it to me said, it's the Eye of Ra. Oh, the Eye of Horus goes the other way? It is the Eye of Ra. Well, how about that? So wait a second. Kristen Melinda, I had an earplug and I couldn't hear you. What did you say? She said, yeah, you're right, Tommy. I'm sorry. It was muffled. I'm kidding. I took a shot in the dark. I was guessing, but I knew it was. But I bought that. The first hit acid I ever did had that on it, and that's what they called it. Was IRA. Hold on one second. I think so. I've got somebody that provides information to about 3 channels that I know of, and they do not come on and talk to people. They don't put their face out there, but they're pretty tied into the sort of the. They know a lot of really kind of high. Kind of big name attorneys, and it has been alleged that she got 35 million in that settlement. That is what Cassie got. Cassie will parlay that into a lot more than 35 million. And I'm not saying that she is the most astute businesswoman on the planet. I don't think that that's the case. I don't think she's dumb either. I just don't think that she ever had that chance. She was in the she had Diddy paying for everything and kind of keeping her under his thumb. But whoever she linked up with, right? And I doubt it's anybody that Diageo sent over there. I'm just being a jackass. But whoever her new friends are, hopefully she's sticking with them, because she went from, hey man, if you don't give me some money, I'm going to write a book, to I have found the best lawyers on earth for this particular subject matter, and they believe me, and we want money, and they got it like that. Stretch says all social media should be banned. We need to get back to reading books, magazines, and forming our own opinions. Well, I disagree with you. I think that any way you're taking information in, you still have the ability to take that stuff in and form your own opinions. What's the difference between the people who are creating content here that you listen to and the person that put it down in the book? Honestly, if it's that this is too easy or whatever, if you go down to where it says more, like on the last video, you can just read the transcript and you don't even have to look at me. It'll be just like reading a book. But what we do on some of these is we meet together live and fire opinions around and challenge one another, kind of thing. And I personally think it's healthy, and I'll tell you why. I decided to do this show at midnight because a large segment of the crew now is in Great Britain, but I don't know how many. I'm not sure how many countries on the planet we don't have crew members in, but if there are any, it's one or two. And for a guy that, I mean, I was trying to get 6 people to listen to me about trying to stay sober. That was the launch of this thing. And we're all over the world. And a funny thing happens when people get together and we discuss something that we rally around. For instance, there's nobody here that's a big fan of P. Diddy. And there's nobody here that's a big fan of how people in power are able to treat people, men and women now, who are not in power, who don't have the ability to hire, huge, high dollar, massive attorneys. But by all of us coming together and hating on that, we find out stuff that makes all of us the same, not that makes us all different. And that's kind of a beautiful thing. It's why the people that built this whole internet thing built it in the first place. It was the dream of people all over the place realizing that we're way more alike than we are not alike. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool, but I'm also sitting in front of the camera of a platform I hope doesn't go away. Recently, I've wondered, with the R. Kelly and Diddy situation, is there someone above them? And those two are part of the whole schmick scheme, like a rank in a Ponzi scheme. There's absolutely, in my humble opinion, there has to be people above them. I am absolutely proud of this crew, like you would not believe, Janice. I'm more proud to be associated with this crew than I could put into words. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, man. For real. This is one of those things where the creation gets so much bigger than you, so much bigger than the person who created it, and so much bigger than the thought of what it was going to be. And it's just starting, but I couldn't be more proud of that. And I mean that. There has to be somebody above him. Okay, look, we know someone's above him. Clyde Davis gave him $55 million to start Bad Boy after he left Uptown Records. For all intents and purposes, got fired. But after he left Uptown Records, he gets $55 million dropped on him. And why would that happen? Well, he had just killed 9 people. Okay, makes him a good risk, don't you think? No? I mean, he had already demonstrated the fact that he was kind of a loose cannon. 55 million seems like a pretty good investment. No, seems stupid as hell to me. But Clive Davis gave him 55 million bucks to get that company up and off the ground. So, there are people above. Now, who authorized Clive Davis to do that? Or was that really Clive's money? Or how did all that go down? Because what's fascinating to me is this came out in the documentary. And what the guy said was he had a $60 million check on him, but Clive Davis had given him $55 million. I don't know what the 5 was for, but $50 million is the number. $50 million is the number. It keeps coming back up again and again and again and again and again. How many times have we heard this, right? You've heard the number before. I'm not being funny. If you know what I'm talking about, put a 2 in the chat. Cat Williams said, I had to turn down $50 million, what, 3 times to protect his, virgin backside. But he was not going to. And then it is alleged that Kevin Hart, after coming from the East Coast, he came out and instantly had two specials already booked and a part in a film, right? A TV show, everything all lined out. $50 million contract. Dave Chappelle turned down how much money? $50 million bucks. Went to Africa. The number just keeps coming back to $50 million. I guess 50 million is where you grab your right hand and you take it down to your left ankle. And then the old diddler comes out with the egg. I don't know who did it to diddler, but there are handlers, folks. I promise you there are handlers. This whole operation was not something that Sean Combs cooked up off the top of his head, in my humble opinion. It could have been that Clive. He is, as you know, red, scaly in nature. Got cloven hooves. It's got a bifurcated tail. Carries a hay fork. Yeah, I'm sticking with that. Clive gives me the creeps, man. His virgin backside, Sweet Liberty. That was that is a quote. Oh no, actually, the quote was, "And that virgin hole I was telling you about." That's the Cat Williams quote. That was from the Club Shay Shay program, filmed a little over a year ago, where he predicted the downfall of every loser that has been outed in 2024. And that's what it's all about. The hokey pokey. I love it. Did you see Bobby Brown just did a concert? Seriously, how does that happen? That was Yuck Central. Cottigan Whitney. You know something? I have said this so many times. Yeah, Jamie K says, no, sir, not interested. No naked basketball. Please, you know how I forget things and I squirrel off? Please make sure you take me back to the naked basketball story, because you know that I have gone off about this. Wait till you hear the update on the naked basketball story. Y'all are going to lose it. You're going to lose it. I'm a little so Bobby Brown obviously turned out Whitney Houston in terms of chemicals, right? He was a dude that allegedly was the one that got her hitting the pipe. Once she started smoking crack, I think it was really all downhill, and that cooks your vocal cords. Really kind of ended her career, and people were saying, "Hey, poof." People were saying that Clive Davis was trying to figure out a way to get rid of her as soon as her voice started to go sideways. Allegedly. I do love a good allegedly. Hey, you want to hear something? You want a spoiler alert? We got a new T-shirt that's coming out. I think it'll be early next week. You'll be able to buy it. Do you remember the shirt that said relax? Frankie says relax. You remember this shirt. If you grew up when I grew up, you remember this shirt. From Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Well, we wanted to do like an homage, same kind of white shirt with the black lettering, just like that one, except it says, Tommy says, allegedly. Instead of Frankie says relax. You got to see it, but you're going to love it. It's pretty damn funny. It is 7:50 a.m. Hold on a second. It is 7:50 a.m. here in the UK. And you are joining us for The Lifeboat. It is Breakfast with Tommy. By the way, by Monday, the ASMR the ASMR go to sleep tapes and all of that will start on The Lifeboat on, I do believe it's Monday. If it isn't Monday, it's Tuesday. And the first one will be I think it's the first chapter of Alice in Wonderland, but it will continually get tossed out. I mean, we'll keep taking it out of chapter after chapter after chapter after chapter. You got to admit that's the dulcet sounds of Tommy Scoville. I will be doing the dulcet tones of Tommy Scoville reading Alice in Wonderland. It was the book that everybody decided back in the day they wanted me to do ASMR to. It's a very kind way of the crew of the lifeboat saying, you put us to sleep. Could you maybe make a longer version so that I can just pass out to your droning on voice? The good news is I am happy to allow you to fall asleep to my droning off voice. So that should be up. That should be up soon, which is cool. My brother will also be doing the same thing. And how about a T-shirt with Diddy? Just say no. We have something along that line. I have to go and look. We have something like that. The dude abides. Did you see this shirt that I'm wearing today? Did you guys happen to catch this? I know we've had comments up a lot. I'm the connection dude. The dude does abide, people. The dude does abide. In the southeast piney woods. I love the East. Diddy shirt, just say no. Oh, no, I'll do that. I got no problem with that. I honestly thought we already had that one up there. And I'm not being funny. I'm pretty sure we had that one up there. Yeah, there you go, Jamie. That's even better. Here's the thing, Jamie K, you're a genius. That's actually a way better shirt. That's actually a way better shirt. Jamie K, well played. Well freaking played. However, that's got to be trademarked, doesn't it? Because Diddy's going to want to be partying, and you got to tell Diddy no. Oh, no Diddy is the one we have. We made a no Diddy shirt. Noah, we have a shirt that says no Diddy. That's the one that we have. We have a no Diddy shirt. That one I know we do because that one I was responsible for ordering. But we have a shirt that says no Diddy. But Jamie Case is way better. Can we get one to Scotland? I'm sure that we could. Yeah, I'm sure that we could. It's never fun, but I'm sure that we could. Yeah, Sub Rosa says when they said "Get behind me, Satan," they didn't realize that the devil was the diddler. You can a short one from the Bible, James 4:7. Look that up. That's the Diddy verse right there, man. And the Diddy verse. This James 4:7. Knock it out. He's a bad man. This case, folks. We're going to find out. I was talking to my brother from another mother, Sean Atwood, yesterday. We had a really long talk on the phone, which you would think we probably do a lot because we don't ever. One of those things where we just kind of go in and work and then we kind of head off. But I spent a long time on the phone. We were probably talking for about 45 minutes. And I'll tell you something. Satan wants to get behind you. That one does, with both hands on your shoulder, preferably. He's a bad man. He is a bad man. I'm like a white Cat Williams. Where's my fiance? She would have absolutely loved that. Don't you diddle me, Willis. That's pretty funny too. The diddler wears Prada. You guys are freaking hysterical. The diddler wears Prada. That's funny. 50 million 4 times is not 200 million. Just ask the cat. That's right. That is right. Noah, it's funny you say that. I love making her laugh too. It's one of my favorite things. She has Reese has 3 different laughs. She has 3 very, very distinctive laughs. And there's that one where she explodes. But there's the mid grade is one of the funniest things. And I've been fortunate enough to be around about 5 of them where she and I got laughing about something and couldn't get it back under control. Had absolutely no ability to get it back under control when we just laughed for I'm not joking, 15 minutes, Just looking at like when you were a little kid, every time we'd make eye contact, we'd start laughing again. I can't begin to tell you how much fun that is to do with your mate. It's I've never experienced it. I really haven't. Um, Especially, I don't know. Obviously, Reese is a performer. It's why she has a channel. If you do this for a living, you probably have a bit of a performer thing in you. So obviously, I do as well. And uh, what usually ends up happening is you end up in a relationship with someone that's not like you, and you make them laugh. So I've been doing that with every girl I've ever met. She has done that with every guy she's ever met. And when the two of us get together, we make them both like my sense of humor slays her. I can make Reese laugh all day long. I can make Reese laugh without saying a word. I can make her laugh all day long. I can do stupid cat faces and just make her laugh. And he knocks me down. She really does. She knocks me down. She says some of the funniest things. It is the best medicine, and which is good because I'm in need of all kinds of medicine. I'll tell you what, people. I am going to make you a promise. I will do this. I'm probably going to do this at least once a week, and I'm going to break up a couple of other weird time slots. So if you're catching this on replay and you're one of the replay crew, if you want to toss in some, tell me where you are and what time you want us to do it. Greenwich Mean Time. I'm kidding. Just tell us what, based on, say, East or West Coast time, so I can extrapolate from that. I'm actually on Mountain Time right now. No, I'm not. Am I? Yeah, I'm on Mountain Time. My girlfriend's on Central. Um, Quibsy's on Central, and I'm on Mountain. Hey, Noah, I appreciate that. I really do. Just got to make sure that you don't, that you make sure you take care of you too, because sometimes we have a propensity to put others before us. Got 99 problems and Diddy ain't one. That is true. That is true. So, couple of other updates here, real quick. Our boy Turd Ferguson is still in rehab and doing fantastic. Every day is he's getting better. Really looking forward to him getting out, and he's going to. We're gonna have him on in kind of regular intervals. For those of you who have never experienced kicking, getting through a drug rehab kind of a thing, this is going to be a excellent eye opener. And the fact that he's willing to share this with us, he's not a young man. He's a guy that's been battling this his whole life. But I'll tell you something right now, he's got its number this time. This is going to be the time that he beats it. And I'm saying that not based on hope and silly stuff or whatever. This is based on after doing this now for a long time and working with a lot of people, you get a pretty good idea when people are going along for the motions, and then you get people that are fighters, and that he's doing the work. He's putting the work in, which is really awesome. You know what I mean? That is the awesomest. Kicking is a bitch. It really is. And he's putting the work in, which is just awesome. Nothing makes me happier than people that realize recovery is a verb and sobriety is a verb. And that's a beautiful thing. So let's talk about this naked basketball. We'll finish up with this because that allegedly Jamie Foxx and the Diddler and some friends allegedly played basketball. Now, I've been talking about this for a long time online. And I can't remember where I first heard it because it's been reported a lot of places, but I can't remember where I heard it first, but I heard it a long time ago. Damon, this has got nothing to do with that, man. You ain't paying attention. This isn't about gay behavior, man. What this is about is somebody that forces people to do things that they don't want to do as a way of controlling them so that they can get over on them for massive amounts of money. You start running through the amount of cash that this dude is alleged to have hidden, forget what he had that the world knows about. But that kind of money doesn't come in on an artist because the margin doesn't add up, right? If a guy's making $100 million, generating $100 million as an artist, right? Well, if you're giving the artist 10 million of that and you're keeping 90, well, you can really start stacking some cash. But how do you make that happen? You have leverage against the people, and you do it through making them, through breaking them down, through humiliation rituals, right? Literally, not just gay stuff. Right? Honestly, I don't give a crap who anybody sleeps with. This is about control and about domination. 4 years off of booze. You just got a grip on opiates. So you're working on the opiates thing. Sexuality has nothing to do with depravity. This isn't even about depravity, but you're right, it doesn't. The fact that the dude wants to sleep with other guys, as long as the guy he wants to sleep with is into it, who cares? Straight up, I mean that. I don't give a rat's butt who you want to sleep with, as long as they're old enough and it's consensual. But this isn't. So this naked b-ball thing that we had talked about a bunch, as it has always been reported, like these guys are out there playing full court ball, right? Like, literally playing basketball. And I heard somebody like defending him. Someone that was actually at one of these games who said, no, man, it didn't go down like that at all. Right? Coercion is coercion. That's right. No matter how you do it. He said, no, this wasn't hoops. We weren't playing any full court press or anything. And he's defending this that way. And the guy who's asking him was like, so what was going on then? He's like, you ever seen Horse? The game Horse? And he goes, yeah, I know what Horse is. If you've never played this before, it's a pretty simple concept. A guy will say, all right, I'm shooting from right here, right? And he does it's going to be from 3-point line, or it's going to be ball dribbling, like the 3-point line, or it's going to be from the foul line. But if the guy shooting from that spot on the court drains it, you have to go then match that shot. If you don't, you get a letter, and you're spelling the word horse. So as he's explaining, the guy goes, so what? Instead of getting a letter, you're what, taking clothes off? He goes, yeah, it was more like a strip thing, like you would play strip poker or whatever. Okay. I've never played strip anything with male friends of mine. And I don't care if you do, right? But there's a lot of this that was done. Even the stories that we're hearing about the gang grapes, right? Where Diddy is telling bodyguards or telling business associates or telling anybody that he's got with him, while these West Coast Fancy Nancy, good to see it, while people are being violated, he's telling other people, you get over here, you do it. It has been alleged that there are people that didn't want to be participants in that. Well, of course not. He's not going to enjoy it if the person wants to do it. Diddy wants to, if he can get a 2-for-1, if he could get a guy that is horrified at the idea of R-wording a woman, and Diddy's using his power to get that guy to actually R-word the girl he just did it to. Yeah, for a guy like Diddy, that would be a 2-for-1. It just doesn't make any sense at all. It's a horrific concept that what this guy, how this drives, or people like him, how they're driven, is they want to see you pushed so far outside your comfort zone that you're miserable, and that misery brings them joy. So if they know that you're straight, they want to make you do something gay. They know you're gay, they want to put you with somebody and make you do something straight. They know that you are a avid, faithful believer in God. They're going to make you do something that totally goes against your religion. He just wants to break people. All of this talk that they did about making black men in Hollywood put on a dress and be filmed that way if they're going to ascend to the next level. And, people say it's conspiracy theory, it's this and that. I don't think there's any chance in hell it's a conspiracy theory. It's just them trying to humiliate these people. And it becomes, to set up the, we can make you do anything in this industry, right? You're only here because we tell you can be here kind of crap. You heard Chappelle say he wouldn't put a dress on, right? And then it was brought up, they brought it up in an interview to Kevin Hart, who said, yeah, well, no one should ever do anything they don't want to do, but You ain't going to see me putting on a dress, right? That's not going to happen. You're not going to see me put on a dress. And then he went and did a Saturday Night Live skit where he played the first female pope, black female pope, and was out there in the dress just waving, looking hella uncomfortable. Like he knew he had just told the world he was never going to put on a dress. And if you're watching from outside, why would a guy who said, "No, I'm not, no way I'm ever putting on a dress," do so within a month or two? Why? Because the handlers went, "I'm sorry, what did you just tell the world? You ain't putting on no dress? Trust me, you are." Right? We're going to show everybody that you just said that to, that we own you. Bill Clinton in his dress. You know what this reference is to? This reference is to a painting that hung inside Jeffrey Epstein's house in New York. It was a picture of Bill Clinton in a blue dress, right? Huge ass painting of Bill Clinton in a blue dress. Are you going to tell me that there's no symbolism in that? The skit wasn't funny at all. The skit was not funny at all. And it was just stupid. If you watched it, you can tell me if you agree or disagree, but it looked to me like they just were trying to figure out some way to put that dude in a dress. It didn't match the first female black pope. It's a stretch, man. It was a dumb skit. It wasn't funny. And he didn't really do anything in it. Just said, what happened to the Epstein stuff? Do you mean all of the evidence? That's a really interesting question, isn't it? Jellycats, you guys have probably heard this. You guys are also damn smart. And I mean this. I'm not being patronizing, but most of us, you're right, Sub Rosa. Boy, are you right. Johnny Scoville was just saying this to me yesterday. Might have been today. He just said, boy, SNL is just a different show completely. It's not funny. But anyway, the monsters are made in childhood. You guys all watch kind of the same stuff because if we're studying, if we really are people that are kind of deep diving and studying or looking into things, we probably come across a lot of the same stuff. But I heard how like psychopaths and people like Diddy, how these things happen, and it's a three-part process. Like genetics load the gun, right? Genetics load it, and your personality and all of that ends up pointing it, right? And then life experiences and traumas and things that happen to you during your life are what ends up pulling the trigger and turning you into the Diddies of the world. So it's not just, they're not born, but they're born with a predisposition already, right? Like I am to dope, or like you are to booze, or like you are to gambling, or like you are to eating. All of those habits that aren't going to go away unless we beat them. All of those habits that are not going to leave us if you are addicted to anything. You're gambling too much, you're eating too much. If you think that, well, in a short period of time, in a year, once I stop with this job or once I stop doing this, all of this is going to level. Those things don't happen. You have to kick their asses, because this is when we do these things, it is an attempt to feel comfortable in our own skin. That's what it is. And for some people, booze does that. For me, it was heroin. For some people, it's food. For some people, it's gambling. Hold on 1 second. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Janice Combs, when Diddy's mom, Janice, when their dad died, right? I had, I don't know if I got the email yet. I'm going to have to check, but I I had heard that about Macaulay Culkin. You know, there are some really weird things that do exist out there. This is going to sound nuts, but I was in the home of a person who was one of the founders of New Skin. They had something that was, they had something on the wall that had been tanned. And I said, what kind of skin is that? They said human. It was a tattoo that had come off someone's body that had been like pinned and tanned. It was creepy as hell. But yeah, that's frightening. Janice Combs, when Janice Combs' husband died, was shot, she had to go out and get a job. And she was working as a teacher and as a substitute teacher, and she was turning tricks. She was a prostitute or an escort or a call girl or whatever the hell you want to call it. But she was sleeping with men for money. And when she moved out to Mount Vernon, it is alleged, right, that when she went out to Mount Vernon, she began to organize gatherings, social gatherings. So almost like the house was a brothel kind of a thing. She had these social gatherings where there were a lot of girls working, and she was taking a cut from a lot of the girls that were working. Now, this is all just allegedly, but it's certainly being alleged by a lot of people. Oh, Cassandra, I have not heard that story. He says, referring to Heather Rourke, alleged victim of Spielberg. Yeah, breakfast with the lifeboat. See, that's kind of what I was shooting for. We do have rather a big crew these days in Great Britain. So you're super late, huh? Well, I mean, I started at midnight, so you're not super, super late, unless you think you're catching the 7 o'clock show, in which case, what is wrong with you? I mean, you're really late. I'm kidding. All right, on that note, I'm going to go and lay down on my bed with Squirrel Nut Zipper. The Intercontinental Breakfast. You know what? That's what I'm going to call these shows when I do them. And if you show up in force, then we'll do more of these. This was a pretty decent turnout for the first one. I will actually show up for these consistently if people show up for them. I really will. I would love to do an early morning show. I'm not joking. I would love to do an early morning show consistently in, for that time zone. I would love to be on at 8 a.m. in the morning in Great Britain. You can all have a coffee with me. I am a big fan of your culture. It's 8 a.m. there? Okay. Well, that's it. You can catch this on replay. I promise. I'm not mad at you. Sub Rosa, thank you. And thank you for clarifying that pesky raw thing. Yeah, 300 plus people in the chat for sort of the inaugural Intercontinental Breakfast. I think that works pretty well. I love the Intercontinental Breakfast. I really do. I'm stealing that. I'm stealing this. That's it. Again, that was a joke for no one who's here, but I'm doing it anyway. I am early morning here. See, that's what I was shooting for. Early morning. Yes. See, Johnny Scoville understands. Johnny, thank you for your patience. And thank you, everybody. I will see you all this morning because it's already, I won't say tomorrow. It's already this morning. I will see all of you this morning. Between now and then, do me a favor. Reach out and try to save somebody. All right. God bless everybody. Bye-bye.